यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं खलु शायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं। प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, fourth chapter, verse number 31. Vedavyasa Muni, even after he has classified the Vedas, expanded them, and he has also written Puranas, Itihasas, Mahabharata, etc., but yet he was not satisfied. He was talking to himself in the mind that Atma is by nature complete and delightful. But yet, in spite of me doing so many things for the welfare of all the living entities, why still I am feeling incomplete and dissatisfied? He was thinking like this, and then he further thought that not only that I have expanded the Vedas, those who are not eligible to go through the Vedas for their benefit, I have also written the fifth Veda, that is the Puranas and Mahabharata. So when I have thought about the welfare of all the living entities, why still I am feeling incomplete? Then he again came to a conclusion by himself that is it that I have not narrated the glories of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna repeatedly, which are relished by the Paramahamsas who have transcended even the Varna and Ashrama, and who are the guru of even the Varnashrama sannyasis. Is it that because I have not glorified the Supreme Lord, I am dissatisfied? Because I have not sung the glories of the Vaishnavas also. The devotees are very dear to the Supreme Lord, I have not sung their glories. And the Lord has given Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma means that which is ordained by the Supreme Lord directly. So I have not even given that. Is it the reason for my dissatisfaction? Because whatever activities I have given, they are all temporary. Kshine punyam martilokam vishanti. As soon as one's good activities or the results of good activities are finished, martilokam vishanti. Again they have to come to this material world. They have to again fall down here. Means one might have performed several activities for attaining the fruitive results, but they are all temporary. Means they are not going to give permanent position to any one of us. So whatever I have mentioned so far, all these things, they are all temporary. I have not described about the Nitya Dharma. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma, he mentions about Nitya and Naimittik Dharma. Nitya Dharma is Atma Dharma. The Dharma, nature. Dharma means, many call it as religion, but it's not religion. Dharma means nature. What is your Dharma? Means what is your duty is not the question. What is your nature? The nature of the Atma is to serve Supreme Lord. That is the Nitya Dharma, eternal nature. But Naimittik Dharma is the temporary duties that the living entity has taken. So, whatever the living entities, whatever they are performing in their forgetful state of their real self, it's all Naimittik. Naimittik means instrumental. They have become husband or wife or child or father, parent, whatever. So, this Naimittika means instrumental for a particular time, but the duty is going to change. The Naimittik Dharma is going to change. Currently, I am a teacher, then I am supposed to give instructions to the students. But I am a parent also, I need to take care of my child. I am a student, then I have to learn. And this, it keeps on changing. Then I am a grandfather. I am a, ex-serviceman, whatever. There are several things, that keep changing with time. But there is one thing that doesn't change with time, that is eternal Dharma. The Dharma of the Atma, the nature of the Atma. Therefore, he is telling that because the Nitya Dharma is Bhagavad Dharma, which is to worship Vishnu, I have not mentioned that this is very, very dear to the Supreme Lord. I have not mentioned that which is dear to the Supreme Lord. Means, we may perform activities in order to give happiness to so many living entities, but ultimately that will not bring us peace. Because only if Vishnu is satisfied, we will be satisfied. Yasmin tushte sarvamidam tushtam bhavati. By whose satisfaction everything else becomes blissful. If Supreme Lord is pleased, everyone else becomes pleased automatically. Therefore, the best way to get satisfaction is to, link ourselves with Paramananda. If we want to get Ananda, if we want to get happiness, bliss, then we have to turn towards that Paramananda, that is Supreme Lord. If as long as we are averse to that Paramananda, means we are facing the other side, then we are only going to get Nirananda, lack of happiness. So here Vedavyasa Muni is contemplating, and then he is thinking that because I have not mentioned the eternal Dharma, which is very dear to Supreme Lord Vishnu, probably that is the reason for my dissatisfaction. So yesterday we heard some part of the purport, wherein Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that because I have not repeatedly sung the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, Because the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna are the only ones we are supposed to sing again and again. A mother in this material world, she constantly talks about her child. She keeps on saying the same thing again and again, over and over again, to whomever comes. You may think that this lady is mad. Why is she speaking only the same thing again and again? Because she has got so much love to the child, there is attachment, priti, sambandha, loving attachment is there to the child, that she is deriving happiness talking about her child repeatedly. In a similar manner, when one has got that priti, loving affection to Supreme Lord or to the Vaishnavas, then they will not be satisfied by singing their glories once, twice, thrice or 4 times. They would repeatedly want to sing their glories and repeatedly want to listen to the glories. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly heard the narrations of Dhruva and Prahlad from Gadadhar Pandit Goswami hundreds of times, and yet he is not satisfied. He is telling that I want to hear one more time. Because as much one sings and hears about the transcendental subject matters, so much he gets bliss. But for people like us, we think that, oh, this is already heard. Let us hear some new story. I heard the story of Dhruva so many times, now speak something else. But here, Mahaprabhu is saying that no, I want to hear again. Because transcendental subject matters, they are ever fresh. They are ever fresh. So, they are to be sung repeatedly. They are actually the pure devotees, they sing repeatedly. They take pleasure in singing repeatedly. And for the sadhakas also, it is very essential to sing repeatedly for their own eternal welfare. When they repeatedly sing or hear the glories, then slowly those glories of the Supreme Lord and His associate take seat in the heart. Because in our current situation, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, lust, anger, greed, etc., all these things have taken place or seat in the heart. The only way to purge them out of the heart is to, put or bring in the glories of the Supreme Lord or His devotees. Then all these things will automatically go away. But any endeavor to get rid of them other than singing and hearing the glories will be unsuccessful. The only way that we can bring out all our, unwanted vices in the heart is repeated hearing and singing of the glories. So, he is telling that Bhagavad Dharma is to sing the glories of Supreme Lord and His devotees again and again, over and over again. Bhagavad Dharma, Sri Vishnu Thakur says, Bhagavad Dharma does not mean jnana. Bhagavad Dharma means bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. Devotion means surrender. Bhagavad Dharma is not possible without submission or without surrender. Bhagavad Dharma means total surrender. श्रीमद् भागवते परवर्ती अध्याय देवर्षि नारदे रुक्ति से वाग विसर्ग अर्थात वाक्य प्रयोग जनसमूहेर पापनाशक होय जहाते अपशब्द अर्थात असंस्कृत पदविन्यास थाकिलेओ प्रतिश्लोके अनंत भगवानेर यश प्रशासक नाम सकल विन्यस्त थाके. So in the next chapter we are going to hear Narada instructing Vedavyasa. There Narada Goswami is actually chastising Vedavyasa that you have done a very abominable thing by giving this karma kanda activities to all the living entities. You have written dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but you have not done a good thing. Because living entities by nature they have these desires, and you have given or you have authenticated them to engage in such activities. It's an authentication that Vedavyasa Muni himself has given these scriptures, he himself has given the Vedas, and he told that you do this dharma, you do this karma, you do this kama, etc. Therefore, for an established person like you, it is totally unfitting. That is why you are not getting pleasure. So Vedavyasa Muni was actually chastised by Narada Goswami. But here in this particular purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur refers to one of the instructions of Narada Goswami to Vedavyasa Muni, wherein he says that sei vag visarga अर्थात वाक्य प्रयोग जन समूहेर पापनाशक है. Those all the topics that are in relation to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna are redeemers of all the sinful activities. All the sins are cleared by the words of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Means the glories of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, or any word that is in connection to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, frees one from all the sinful activities. Jahate apashabd arthat asanskrita pada vinyasa thakileo. Even though such a compilation is not properly done, means there are grammatical mistakes, the words are not proper, or the alankara means the ornament language is not ornamental, or it's not very attractive. But yet, because these subject matters are directly in relationship with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, immediately they will free one from all the sinful activities. Here, the words that are in connection to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna are being mentioned. In another verse, he says that certain compilations may be done very beautifully, ornamentally, and one may be expert in using very rich language and nice presentation. But if the topics are about the temporary material world, then these are the topics where the crows take interest. Tagvayasam tirtham is the place of pilgrimage of the crows, means dustbin. Is the place where all the crows go and get assembled. It's a dustbin. All rubbish is there. So there, Narada Goswami is telling that even though such topics are mentioned so nicely, the material subject matters, they are described so nicely, exclusive language and beautiful presentation is given, but they are just the place of pilgrimage of the crows. Whereas the topics that are pertaining to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, they may not be compiled properly, but yet they are sung, heard, and repeatedly spoken by the Paramahamsas, because they are the topics that are in relation to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So here, Narada Goswami, means Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is referring to Narada Goswami's instructions that we will hear in the next chapter, wherein he is telling that those topics that are in relation to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, even though they are not presented properly, they have the ability to free one from all the sinful activities. Je nama shakal sadhugana shravan kathan wa swayam kirtan kuriya thakyan. These topics are repeatedly heard, sung and spoken by the devotees. हे वेदव्यास, तुम्ही भगवानेर निर्मल जश प्राय वर्णन करो नाय. Vedavyas, you have not sung the glories of pure pastimes and pure glories of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Whatever you have sung in Mahabharata, you have written, but they are not sung with a pure purpose. They are hetuyukta, means they are for a purpose, you have done for some material purpose. Therefore, those prayers or those singing of the glories is not pure. That is why the Lord does not see what we are speaking or what we are doing from outside, The Lord sees what we are thinking within. Bhavagrahi. He sees what our feeling is. He does not see what we are doing or what we are speaking. Just like in this material world, they always see how good, nicely you are presenting yourself and how sweetly or politely you are talking to others. No matter what you are carrying inside your heart, it doesn't really matter. But if you present yourself nicely, you are a very nice person. Whereas in the transcendental plane, it is just the opposite. What you are speaking, what you are presenting outside is what not that matters. What matters is what you are from within. Because the living entities, they cannot see within, they will only see what is outside, how you are presenting yourself. But the Supreme Lord is an all-knower. He sees what is within us. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is Bhavagrahi, not Bhashagrahi, not how nicely you speak or how nicely you present yourself. That is not what Lord wants. There, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this verse comes, Murkha kahe Vishnaya, Bigga kahe Vishnave Namaha. Murkha, an ignorant fool who has no knowledge of Sanskrit or how to pray, he says Vishnaya Namaha. Vishnaya Namaha is grammatically wrong. Vishnaya Namaha is grammatically wrong. Vishnave Namaha. I offer my obeisances to Vishnu. Obeisances Vishnu is not proper. Obeisances Vishnu, what is the meaning? I offer my obeisances to Vishnu. So Murkha, he says Vishnaya Namaha. Whereas a poet or a Pandita, scholar, he says Vishnave Namaha is right. But the Lord is not hearing whether you are saying Vishnaya Namaha or Vishnave Namaha. The Lord is seeing what is your bhava behind it. What is your mood behind it. So here, the Vedavyasa Muni, he has sung the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in Mahabharata. He has spoken Bhagavad Gita also. But yet, the glories of Supreme Lord are not sung in a proper manner, pure manner. So, he is telling that, hey Vedavyas, you have not sung the pure, unalloyed, glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. भगवानेर यशो वर्णन व्यतिरेके केवल धर्मादि आचरण करिले ताहार परितोष হয় না. Without singing the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, simply by performing or mere performance of ritualistic activities will not please Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Simply activities are performed so nicely. We are performing very beautiful ceremonies, observing beautiful festivals, etc. All these things are done so nicely to present to everyone. Everyone is saying, wow, very nice prasadam, very nice pranami, very nice festival, very beautiful decoration. But from within there will not be any satisfaction if it is not done with the pure purpose of pleasing Hariguru Vaishnavas. That has what has happened with Vedavyasa Muni. Not that he has not sung the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he already sung, but that is not with a pure purpose. That is why here he is telling that other than singing the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, performance of all other activities, whatever you are performing, by that the Lord is not pleased. Because samsiddhir haritoshanam, whatever you perform, that performance should be for the pleasure of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Our Guru Maharaj used to say that a karmi is performing so many activities. He is chanting the name of Vishnu, Krishna, Narayana, etc. But he is performing so many karmic activities. But the Lord will not be present there, or he will not come there. Why? Because his motivation, his purpose is not Hari. His purpose is to get something from Hari. He is calling all the demigods, he is calling Hari also. From whomever he gets his desired fruit, he wants to take it. Therefore, Guru Maharaj used to say, why will the Lord come to him? His bhajan or his anushthan, whatever he has performed, his activity is not to please Hari. His activity is to please his own senses, and for that purpose he called Hari. Therefore, Hari is not pleased, Hari is not going to come. Similarly, a jnani who knows that all these sense gratificatory desires, they are only going to bind me more and more in this material world. Therefore, my purpose here is not to perform these karma kanda activities, my purpose is to get liberated and become one with the Supreme. Therefore, he is also performing certain activities, jnana activities, but with the purpose to become one with God or to get liberated from the sufferings of this material world. Here again the purpose is not pure. The purpose is not for Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore again the Lord will not be pleased, or Lord will not directly manifest himself there. On the other hand, the devotees, similarly yogi also, yogi wants to get some yogic perfections. He want to get some perfections and then he want to attain some siddhi lokas, etc. Therefore, again the target is not Supreme Lord. Now, if the target is not Supreme Lord, even though there is so-called worship of Supreme Lord in that, the Lord is not pleased, and therefore the performer of that activity is not going to get the eternal bliss. Whereas only devotional activities, where the target is only to please Supreme Lord Hari, the target is not anything else. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying. What is he praying? Pashupakhi hoye thaki swargeva niraye tava bhakti rahu bhakti vinod hridaye. According to my previous karmic activities, if I have to go to heavenly planets, if I have to go to hellish planets, if I have to become a bird, if I have to become a beast, whatever it may be, let it happen so. Kita hava janmu jatha tu adas, bahirmukha brahma janma nahyas. Whatever, wherever you want me to send, you send. But tava bhakti rahu, bhakti vinod. May devotion to your feet be there in my heart always, wherever I am. Whatever species I may take birth in, whatever planet I may take birth in. I don't pray to you that free me from my karmic reactions. Therefore, here the prayer is for the pleasure of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Means the target is the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Lord will be pleased. And naturally, the worshipper will also be pleased. We are performing Hari Bhajan for so many years, but yet we are not getting pleasure. Why? Still we are hankering for money, women, prestige. We are hankering only for these things. Now we are thinking that we are chanting, we are performing bhajan for so many years, but actually if we analyze ourselves, scrutinize ourselves, we will understand that all these are actually getting into whatever devotional activities, so-called activities I am performing, they are all getting into the roots of money, women and false prestige. This is where everything is going. Means whatever activities I am performing, only those desires are growing further and further. But my devotion is not enhancing. This is very nicely elaborated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sri Rupa Shiksha. Comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very nicely elaborated. That if the target is missed, then everything is finished. What we are doing superficially is not that important, but what we are carrying, what impressions we are carrying, what motivation we are carrying from within is what matters the most. So here he is telling that if you do so many activities, dharmic activities, but not sing the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, then that will not bring any pleasure to the Supreme Lord. Ataiva Bhagavat Yasho Varnana Bina Je Dharmadi Gyan Tahai Tomar Nyunata. If the Lord is not pleased, obviously you will not be pleased because you have not performed any activity to please Supreme Lord Hari. So, the insignificance in your activity, whatever activities you have performed so far, is that you have not sung the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Even though you have given vast processes of, dharma, karma, etc., for so-called material benefit of the living entities, you have not sung the glories. Therefore, whatever you have done so far is very, very insignificant. They carry no value. Even after doing so much. To classify the Vedas, to expand the Vedas is not an ordinary thing. But in spite of doing all this, telling that is very, very insignificant. That is why it is very essential for all of us to seek the blessings of Hari Guru Vaishnavas before we perform any activity. We may think that, this activity is going to give happiness or pleasure or welfare, but it may give just the opposite result only. Therefore, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj used to say, any activity performed should be, every activity should be done in the divine guidance of Sri Guru. Even reading of the scriptures should be done with the proper permission of Sri Guru, because only then that activity will become devotion. Otherwise, it is out of some interest to get some knowledge, etc. But if it is blessed by Sri Guru, then it becomes a devotional activity. Therefore, here Narada Muni had informed or he had instructed that the significance in his activities is because that he has not so far sung the glories of Supreme Lord. Sutrang ekhane Paramahamsa ei pader dwara bhakta gankeyi lakha kara hoiyache kintu jnani gana nahen. Therefore, here the word Paramahamsa is used in the verse. This Paramahamsa is indicating the devotees, not Jnanis, because Jnanis' target is not Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Jnanis take no interest in singing the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna because they think that the Lord is also material. Brahman is there and that Krishna, Rama or whatever incarnations, they are all material. They take material form, they perform activities like us and then again become one with Brahman. Therefore, they have no interest because they think that talking about Krishna, Rama's activities is again illusion. It's all material. Therefore, Brahman, we will talk about Brahman, Jnana. So, here Paramahamsa means those who take pleasure in singing the glories or hearing the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Who are they? None other than the devotees. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, therefore, here Paramahamsa indicates bhaktas, devotees, and not Jnanis. Jnanis cannot be, because some may say Paramahamsa means a Jnani is also someone addressed, Jnanis also as Paramahamsas. Therefore, one may say, oh, these Paramahamsas. No, but here Paramahamsa indicates the devotees. Srimad Bhagavat is Paramahamsa Samhita. These are the topics for the Paramahamsas, not for the Jnanis. Here Paramahamsa means the devotees. Because Jnanis really don't take pleasure in this. However, Shankaracharya, he has given commentaries to Vedas, Vedantas, etc. and other Puranas, but not to Srimad Bhagavatam. To Vedas and Vedantas he has given comment, but not to Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is a scripture where it talks about devotion only, pure devotion. So here, Paramahamsa indicates devotees, not Jnanis. এই জন্যই এই শ্রী ভাগবত পারমহংসী সংহিতা বলিয়া কথিত হইয়াছে. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavat is addressed as Paramahamsi Sanghita. The narrations are the topics that are dear to the Paramahamsas, or the narrations where Paramahamsas take pleasure. Like one class of people are the crows, where they take pleasure in the dustbins. The other is the Paramahamsas, where they take pleasure in the Manasarovar, the beautiful pond, where there is no filthy items available. There is no filth, there is no pollution, there is no bad odor. It is pure. That is where Gayanti, Ushanti, Shrinvanti, Manasa. These Paramahamsas are like this, that they constantly sing, they constantly chant, and they constantly hear, take pleasure in doing these things. এখানে শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে জ্ঞানীগণের কোনো সত্ত্ব আরোপিত হইতে পারে না। Means in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Gyanis, they have no entry here, because they cannot take pleasure in such things. Jnana. But devotees are not Gyanis. The devotees also have Jnana. But they are not Gyanis. Gyanis means who are wanting to attain knowledge. Wherever there is bhakti, there is janayati asu vairagyam jnanam tad ahetukim. Wherever there is bhakti, ahetukim bhaktim, janayati ashu vairagyam. Janayati means gives birth to, means devotion gives birth to vairagyam. Vairagyam means detachment. Ashu means immediately. Devotion immediately gives birth to vairagyam, detachment. And jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Tad ahetukim. Ahetukim means causeless. Means for the purpose of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, how to serve Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. That kind of knowledge is automatically revealed, but they are not Gyanis. Gyanis, they take pleasure in, what you call, talking about the Jnana, means Brahman and those. But the devotees take pleasure in singing the glories, pastimes of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Therefore, Gyanis have no entrance into this Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the end of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's purport. There is purport by Srila Prabhupada also, which is quite big. We will read tomorrow. Tomorrow we will hear about Ramanujacharya. Tomorrow is his appearance, and Bhakti Hriday Ban Goswami Maharaj also appearance. So we will hear about them tomorrow. And after tomorrow we will take this. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद प्रंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति दयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय। जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। सर्व विघ्न विनाशनकारी भक्त वत्सल भगवान श्री सिंह देव की जय। भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद प्रंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद प्रंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण महाराज की जय। समागत हरिकथा श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।